Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Power. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright? Now look, so for this one, I'm gonna be telling y'all about life in prison versus death. Which one you think is worse? Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. Since I didn't face death and I didn't been in prison, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on what I think is worse. Alright? Okay. I'm going to put it like this, real simple and easy. Life in prison is worse than death. How you figure that, Mr. Roll Up? Again, I done been faced with both. So I know both sides. Now, I'm not saying that I done died, but I damn near did. You know what I'm saying? But let me put it like this. You gotta die anyway. We all got a death date. We all gotta go at some point. But life in prison, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You have to spend the rest of your life in a cell with a bunch of other guys that you don't want to deal with. See, when you die, you gone. You transition. You know what I'm saying? Some people believe in heaven and hell. Some people believe in reincarnation. Either way it go, you didn't transition. Your soul moved on to the next course of life that's coming up for it. When you do life in prison, that's it. You know, it's not nothing else to it. That's just, it's over with until you die. You still have to die anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, what you mean by all of this, right, Mr. Roll Up? Let me put it in this context. I see a lot of people on the internet always talking about like pedophiles and killers and shit like that. A lot of people feel like they should just kill them. You know, instead of them going to prison for life, they feel like those type of people should just die. Just kill them. It's the reason why prison is set up the way it's set up. For you to do a lot of time in prison or life and things like that. Prison is called correctional. It's a correctional facility. That means it's there to correct your thinking. So even if you want to talk about a pedophile or a murderer, when they get sent to prison for the rest of their life, trust me, like I said, I done been on this side of the fence, so I can speak on it. When those type of people get sentenced to life in prison, even when they first do come in, even if, just say while y'all, just say you go to court for somebody that killed a family member of yours or a friend of yours, something like that, right? And that individual gets sentenced to life in prison. And even when they get that sentence handed down to them, they still be in the courtroom. Oh, fuck y'all niggas, woo woo. Fuck your dead homies. Yeah, I killed that nigga. Fuck him, woo woo woo. Even if they do be on all of that, no remorse and all. Just saying, as an example, just to say that individual do be on that tip at that moment, right? Well, again, this is why it's called corrections. Yeah, they be on that right then and there. But give them a couple of years down the line. They get to correcting their mind. That's what the system do. It's not nothing that they want to do. It's the way how the system is designed. The system is designed to make these type of people correct their way of thinking. I know this firsthand because I was the same way. I was a hothead before I got locked up. When I went there to do my time, I was like, oh yeah, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly how it go. Like I said, even for the people that insane in the brain, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? Them real wild people like that, it usually take a good 10 to 15 years before their mind get corrected. This is why they have those type of people do life in prison, 30 years in prison, 25 to life, shit like that. It's a way of correcting your thinking. And when you get so much time in there, you don't have no choice but to correct it. It's no choice. It ain't no, oh, I'm a rah gang the rest of my life. It don't work like that. Because one thing you gotta understand is no matter what setting you in, you get older, you mature, you change. You have to. It's not by choice, it's by force, it's by nature. You know what I'm saying? So, again, with people thinking that, these murderers, pedos, things like that, they need to just die. Nah. Prison is way worse than death because they got to succumb to their death anyway. So them serving the rest of their life in prison, you just don't understand how much they go through being in that bitch. And this is exactly why they love sentencing these type of people to life in prison. 30 years, 40 years in prison, right? I seen a story yesterday where it was these two white couple. They was adopting kids. They was adopting little black kids. And they was using them as like sex slaves, work slaves or whatever the fuck they had them doing. Maybe y'all could find that story. I don't remember where the fuck I seen it at. I just seen it in my feed. You know what I'm saying? I just looked at the video real quick. But it was a white couple. It was a man and a woman. They got sentenced to like 300 years together. 400 years. You know what I'm saying? So separately, they got like 200 years apiece. You know what I'm saying? Of course, ain't nobody gonna live that long, but it's just the whole fact that the system flexed their muscle to say, hey, guess what? We don't gotta kill you. The system gonna kill you. You might got this crazy way of thinking that you supposed to adopt these kids and make them slaves or whatever. Now you about to be a slave for the rest of your life. Until you die. Then after you die, guess what? You got to go see him. So life in prison is way worse than just killing somebody. If that was the case, the system would straight up just inject everybody. Everybody that got life, you know what I'm saying, shit like that, these heinous ass crimes, they could just inject everybody, get all of their ass gone. But they profit more off of keeping these people alive. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, these people go through a lot within that time. Just like I said with Dail, right? More Dail. He came in at 18 years old. He killed a man at 18 years old. He was on gang, all of that shit at 18 years old. I bumped into him 32 years later. He had a light bit. This 32 years later. I wasn't even 32 years old at the time. You know what I'm saying? He had more time in than I was alive. By the time I met him, he was so depressed and so broken down. Like, he was just done for. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he still worked out. He still was active and everything. But mentally, he was drained. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I can't even look him up no more. So I'm pretty sure he didn't pass on, within this time frame. And that's what I mean. Like, you got to do the rest of your life in there. And then after you, decease, you go in the grave. You gone now. So, again, what I had to say about this is life in prison is worse than death. So to all the people that think that pedos and killers and, human traffickers and, people that commit them wild ass crimes like that think that they need to just die. Just put them to death. Put them on death row. Get them up out of here. Nah. They got to go one day anyway. Let their ass serve life in prison. They go through a lot. They get beat up all the time. They get raped as well. You know what I'm saying? They get their commissary took. They don't get no phone time. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of shit happened to these individuals. Now, I'm not saying every single last one of them, but a lot of them, they go through a lot of shit in there. A whole lot. And even if they don't, get their commissary took and beat up and things like that, they still lose their mind anyway. Because they trapped. They can't go anywhere. They can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So, you ask me personally, life in prison is worse than death, because we all got to die anyway. But guess what? Everybody ain't going to prison. Everybody ain't going to prison for life either. You know what I'm saying? You might see a lot of people going to prison for life and you think like, damn, there's a whole lot of people in prison for life. But if you look at it on a huge scale of the population, it's a small percentage of people in prison serving life. Let me make a better example of this. Like I said, here in Michigan, it's like 50 male prisons here. 50 in the whole state of Michigan. This glove right here, the Michigan glove, it's about 50 prisons all over the Michigan map. It's more than 50 cities here. You know what I'm saying? So put that in perspective. If it's just 50 prisons in this state and there's more than 50 cities here, again, on a large scale, it is way more people that is free and living their life as opposed to serving life in prison. And again, it's set up like that for a reason. Now, just to say, if all of these people just went crazy and just got to killing each other and shit like that, guess what? They would impose the injection on everybody because it'd be too many people overflooding the prison systems. But that's not the way how life goes. A lot of people learn their lesson off of other people getting life in prison. You know what I'm saying? If life in prison was so easy, everybody would be in prison for life. Everybody. You know, people just crashing out, you know, because how can you put it? Things not going their way, you know, life beating their ass, you know, things like that, right? Everybody would crash the fuck out. But a lot of people, they stop and think like, oh no, I don't want to go to prison for the rest of my life. I know what the fuck come behind that. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna just go ahead, stay down because I don't want to go there. Even for people that never been there, they don't even want to experience that shit. Why? Because prison is worse than death. See, the thing is, you can't escape death. You can escape prison. You can't escape death. You know what I'm saying? You could probably cheat death, but you can't escape it. We all have to go at some point. This is just how life goes, and we all know this. So this is why the system have it set up to where, oh, okay, you want to go against society rules, you want to be a threat to the public, here you go. Sitting here for the rest of your life. Let's see how that work out for you. You know what I'm saying? It's a completely different feeling, I'm telling you. And with the guys that I've been locked up with, like I said, it take about that 10 to 15 year mark before they change. And I had a guy sit me down and tell me that. You know what I'm saying? By the time I met him, he had like 12 years in. And, you know, he told me, he was like, bro, I ran the streets. I did all of that. Everybody was scared of me. Everybody respected me. I did this. I did that. Blah, 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 blah. Right? And he like, man, it literally took me 10 years. It literally took me a whole 10 years to realize, like, damn, I'm not going nowhere. That's when his mind got corrected. But guess what? He still got a whole lifetime to serve in prison. Guess what he in there doing? He in there messing with the boys too. Why? Because he don't got nothing else to do. This is what I'm saying. You go through a lot being in that bitch as opposed to just, you know, getting injected and put out the game. You know what I'm saying? You got to go anyway. So that life bit is a way bigger punishment than death. It really, that's why it's set up like that. If that was the case again, everybody would just be getting ejected. Everybody that commit a big ass crime and get life for it, fuck life in prison. Just inject their ass, get them gone. That could be more space for other people that got like smaller crimes, 5 to 10 years, or, you know, some petty shit. That could be space for them. But it's set up like that for a reason. Not only to make an example, but also to teach that person, hey, look, this is what happened to you when you do shit like this. And only the people that been in there, only them type of people can understand what I'm saying. But I'm trying to make you understand that again, if you one of those kind of people that think that these people that commit these crimes, like, let me use an example on it. The whole Kimani Lateef, I think that's her name, the girl out of Ohio, the story that's going around right now, her daddy raped her, and he tried to cut her head off, cut her arms off, all of this shit, or cut her hands off or some shit, and then he was a part of the search team acting like he was looking for her. They ended up catching him. Come to find out, he the one that did the shit. You know what I'm saying? Look, right? Situations like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people saying he needed to just be put to death. Just kill him. Get him out of there. Why you think the police didn't kill him? I seen the actual footage of when the police ran up on him and they shot him. You know what I'm saying? And locked his ass up and took him into custody. Why you think they did that? When they could have just killed him. Police know where to shoot you to take you out. You know what I'm saying? And they know where to shoot you to, what can you say, stabilize you. You know what I'm saying? They knew what they was doing because, nah, you need to go inside. You need to be corrected. You gonna die anyway. You need to be corrected. And man, that man don't know what he got ahead of him. He don't know what's about to come to him. You know what I'm saying? Another story. I don't remember this guy name, but he was like he was beating on his son and shit. It was out there in Ohio as well. He was beating on his son. The son was like autistic or slow or something like that. Had him locked up in the attic and shit. The little boy doodling everywhere, and they not feeding him, all type of shit. And the guy had a girlfriend and her sister there. They wasn't saying shit. They letting the daddy do whatever he wanted with the kid. They straight mistreating this kid. You know what I'm saying? He done stuck a broom up the boy bottom and everything. You know what I'm saying? Or a stick, whatever the hell that shit was. Like, they did that little boy bald. And I think he drowned him in the tub or some shit. Like, my man's was gone in the mind. You know what I'm saying? And, with that being said, his ass got arrested. You know what I'm saying? He got life in prison. And, like I said, I don't know his name, but you could find the story, But I heard the phone conversations. You know what I'm saying? And like he calling home and shit, he crying. Like he need to get up out of there. Cause them guys on his ass. You know what I'm saying? And that's in the county jail. He ain't even made it to prison yet. And he was on the phone crying his ass off. Like, man, listen. Prison is worse than death. Life in prison is worse than death. Because you got to succumb to death no matter how good of a person you is or how bad of a person you is. You got to see that day anyway. But when it comes to life in prison, that ain't nothing nobody want to see. Even the toughest of the toughest don't want to see that day. You know what I'm saying? Because again, when you go in there, yeah, you could be big tough guy at that moment. You know what I'm saying? But that time frame is going to come where it's going to break you down because it's called corrections. Everything in there is moved militantly. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a window to do what you want in there. Play it how you want to. Wake up when you want to. Go to sleep when you want to. Use the toilet when you want to. You don't have that, what can you say, privilege no more. Everything is moved very militantly. You don't eat how you want or when you want. You eat what they give you. And it takes time, but eventually it corrects your mind. And guess what? You got to start the rest of your life in there. That's way worse than death. I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? Lesson behind all of this is exactly everything I said in this video. Death, damn, my bad. Let me bag it up. Life in prison is worse than death. Make sure you remember that. If you don't believe me, go to prison. You'll see for yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's been another episode of Roll Up a Pour Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.